go live and see if everything is working. Can we do an audio check, Oscar?
Yes, live from the Netherlands.
It's totally out of sync for some reason, but that's because we've been playing with everything. And then we go to Chris.
And hello from America.
There he is. Very cool. Okay.
My picture's really big on your screen.
I know. I've done that on purpose.
It made me seem like I have a fat head.
Okay, let me try and give you a more narrow head then. See if I can. There's some. Yeah. Do you want it this narrow?
Oh,
is this better?
Lost just some pounds. Yeah.
Let's make it a little bit more normal, shall we? This is probably better. So, okay. Let's see if because we have done, we have tried to make things difficult again. So I don't know if Ed's already back from holiday. Probably not. So he's not watching live. So there's no way we can really check. Although maybe the only thing to check is on our phone, look at the stream and see if something is going on here. Because, dear viewers and listeners, we were trying to fix a problem just 10 minutes before the show, which is always nice, but there was no way to have other time to do it. We have this issue where, see if everything works, where we noticeably see that Chris's image, so stream, is worse in quality than both Oscar's and mine. To me, from here, from the screen, and I think it's the same in the videos, my picture is the best, Oscar is the second best, and Chris is always the worst, which is weird because there might be some minor changes in camera, which might, make it a bit of a difference, but Skype normally only streams at 720p anyway, so having a 4K camera or whatever doesn't really matter because it will go to 720p anyway. According to Chris, when he tries and figure out his camera quality using other video conferencing tools like Zoom and Teams, they are all better than the quality of the picture that people see when he uses Skype. So then it seems
Skype is doing something to me over here, but none of the other ones are.
So it looks to be a Skype problem.
Right now, it looks really sharp.
I was gonna say right now it's great. There's no problem because right now it's way better than last week.
Yeah.
So what is going on? I don't know.
I wonder if it's because it just updated. Remember, just before we started the show, I disappeared and it updated.
Could be that we now are on the same whatever. So
you need to squeeze my face up a little bit.
Oh yeah, like this, better.
Oh, that's better.
Whatever you want, I can I can tweak it, whatever you want. Anyway, so what we were trying to do is just set up a Teams meeting to mitigate this quality problem. But now we come into a whole plethora of other problems because Teams.
Use of the word plethora.
Teams, yes, a plethora. Did you see that movie? What was the Blazing Saddles? Was it?
Yeah.
Where they used that? Yeah, that's so cool. Anyway, Blazing Saddles. We should probably talk about that also one time because that's just
another movie that could never be made nowadays.
Yeah, true. Anyway, to sort of try and make any sense out of this to the people that are watching this because they don't know what we're on about probably, we tried to set up.
To be honest, we don't know what we're talking about.
No, which is fine, but we at least are in the same sort of universe so that we sort of communicate with each other. Now it's weird because the good thing of Skype is that it supports NDI streams. That means that you can grab separate audio and video streams and it'll sync it up and it'll make it much better for streaming than any other problem without NDI streams. Also, I can grab Chris's feed, audio and video, separate from Oscar's feed, and anyone that calls into Skype, I can make separate feeds of that. In the start of our show, that caused a lot of problems because I needed to figure out how to make these streams all not echoing and everything. But that was just because of the possibilities were too big, and I just needed to find a way to get them right. Now they're right, and that's not a problem anymore, and it's actually the best way to do it. And Skype is the only one that has NDI. So all the others doesn't have it, so you have to do something else. And what I try to do is just grab the whole Teams window, the whole interface with everything in it, and drag that into OBS.
At all.
Yeah, and that worked. It seemed to be working because I did get the whole Teams interface into the OBS stream. But then when Chris and Oscar called into Teams, everything froze up. There was audio on my side, but it wasn't put through to OBS. Well, that might be a setting. But also the video streams were frozen, like pictures. So we couldn't make that work. Yeah. So something like that. So anyway, we soon said, okay, this is not going to work, at least not in a simple way. Let's switch back to Skype. And that's where we are now. Back to old Skype with a better quality. I would say now it's just good. There's no problem with it. Maybe the lighting a little bit, but that's another thing. The sharpness is there. It's not, there's no problem with that. So I don't know why.
Maybe Windows didn't auto-update Skype for over a year or something.
Maybe.
And now it's listening to me on the microphone complaining. It was like, well, maybe I better update.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
They saw you going to Teams.
You were
oh
in
shit,
Teams?
we need to update. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also Microsoft.
Lost another
Microsoft
customer.
is Teams and Skype. So.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's, or is it a product from AT&T?
Oh, don't even start.
Don't even start. Yeah.
Everything's working on T-Mobile now. By the way, if you want to talk about that, I can talk about that because for an American cell phone plan, what I've got now is amazing.
Talk about that because
So
I'm
how
going
was
to
your
try
week,
and boot up
Chris?
WhatsApp because I've got a picture that I want to show in the show. And that's on WhatsApp. And now I'm trying to boot up my desktop WhatsApp app and it just doesn't do anything. So that's another problem. So just do your own show for a while and I'll try and fix this problem.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I got an email from AT&T, who are the people that I have my cell phone plan with, and they said because reasons, we're going to put your cell phone plan up by $49 a month.
Okay.
Just up.
Yeah.
Just...
And so I phoned them up and I said why, and they said because Biden, war reasons, recession, just because. And I was like, so is that before tax or after tax? And they said that's before tax. So it actually goes up by about $53.
Wow.
So that put my cell phone bill at close to $160 a month.
Oh wow. That's
and I went, no, that's not going to work.
No.
So I phoned their competition and said, hello.
Yeah.
What can you do? So they said, well, our biggest plan, the one that has the most data and everything in it, is $140 a month with all the taxes included. So I was like, okay, that sounds better. And they said, but if you have auto pay, where it just pays automatically from your bank account, it's $5 per line less. So in your case, $10 less a month. So that brings it down to $130. And because of the company you work for, you get another 15% off that. So that brings it down to $109.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good. And then they started to tell me everything that they included that AT&T don't. So
okay,
I now get free Wi-Fi in airplanes and free texting. I get Netflix is paid for as long as I'm with this company.
Okay.
I got a year free of Apple TV. I got a year free of Paramount Plus TV.
Wow.
I get free data when I'm traveling up to 5 gigs.
Wow.
I get 5G everywhere.
Yeah.
And all of these things, AT&T have these, but you have to pay. So like to get texting and Wi-Fi on a flight, it's $49 per person per flight.
Uh-huh.
They don't have Netflix. They don't have anything to do with Netflix or Paramount or Apple TV.
Yeah.
If I bring the phone to Holland with AT&T, it's $15 a day to get my plan to Holland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now paying $9 a month less than I was paying AT&T before they put the price up. For 10 times as much.
Okay. Yeah. That's just crazy. Yeah.
So I moved over. We ported the numbers over yesterday, and then I phoned AT&T, and they said, "Why are you leaving?" And I went, "If you don't know, I can't help you."
Yeah. Oh, that's.
And it was really because we really only have two cell phone providers over here, AT&T and T-Mobile.
Yeah.
And whenever you speak to AT&T, it sounds like they're in a gulag somewhere in Eastern Russia. and they just sound so miserable.
Yeah.
You know, and when I was talking to T-Mobile, it was like I'd interrupted a party or an Oktoberfest or something, and they were just on the phone to me for a few minutes, and then they were going back. You know, it was like, oh my God, you people actually seem happy.
Yeah. That's just...
So and swapping over was reasonably easy. They sent me the new SIM cards, and we put them in the phones, and then I phoned up their transfer center, and she said it's almost instantaneous, so we'll do your wife's phone first.
Yeah.
And that took about 2 minutes.
And
then she said, we'll do your phone, the one that you're talking to me on. She said, and you'll know that it's ported over because it will cut us off.
Okay.
And she said, when it cuts us off, I'll phone you back and we'll finish doing the setup. And we were talking about Netflix or something, and it just went click.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, it switched over. So I turned my phone off and turned it back on again, and she phoned me up, and that was it. We were on T-Mobile.
Wow.
With them paying for Netflix for us for as long as we have T-Mobile, and a year's worth of Paramount Plus free, a year's worth of Apple TV Plus, and they even did that right as well. So for Netflix, it wasn't like I had to cancel my existing subscription and set up something new. They had a link, and you follow the link, and it basically changes the billing in your account. Instead of billing your credit card, it sends the bill to Netflix to T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay. And for Paramount Plus and for Apple TV, they give you a code which is good for a 12-month credit.
Yeah.
So if you already have an account, it just adds an extra 12 months to your account.
Wow.
So I didn't have to kill my old accounts and set new stuff up or anything like that. You know, and then I get free Wi-Fi when I'm flying, so I can use data while I'm flying. I get 5 gigs of data when we come over to. It's actually not 5 gigs; it's unlimited. But the first 5 gigs are at 5G speed, and then after that, it runs at 4.
It just cuts it down. Okay, that's cool.
Like we barely use 3 gigs in a month here alone. We're never going to use 5 gigs when we're traveling, so that's great.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, AT&T just have nothing. They can't compete with this.
No.
Except when you start following on your mobile phone Formula One.
Yeah. So, then I could use all
when
data.
I watch twice a month by the what is it, qualification and the race. Then actually my and it's only a message that I'm halfway through my data or something. So it's even, but then it's around 20 gigs or something. Yeah.
Okay.
You spend. But,
Yeah,
but,
it was.
But actually, I think it's quite some money, over 100. So without all the discounts, it's $140.
Yeah, so, without the discounts, it's $140 for 2 lines.
So I'm paying here in the Netherlands now for 2 lines, not even €40.
Yeah, well, you have a real cell phone service there. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a monopoly over here. We only have 2 companies, so they can just charge what they want. Which is funny because America prides itself on the land of opportunity and choice and freedom, but everything is boiled down to just you only have 2 choices for everything.
Yeah.
Around here, we have 1 choice of electricity provider and 1 choice of natural gas. We have 2 choices for a cell phone. We have 1 choice for satellite TV. It's not even a choice. We have satellite TV.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's either on or it's off. And if it's on, you're with the one company that does it, you know, so. So, but yeah, I mean, it was $109 is much better because it's less than I was paying. So.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I heard
American standards, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, well, you know, things like that, mobile service, but also TV channels and stuff like that is way more expensive in the US than it is in Holland. And we think it's expensive, but it's more than twice as much when you live in. And then everything is separate, and it just adds up. So we are pretty lucky here.
Yeah, we got rid of our traditional TV service about 2 years ago. We've been on streaming TV ever since. And even doing that, like when we cut the satellite and went to streaming, we don't pay for Netflix anymore. We pay for Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and Paramount Plus, and 2 of those just got a discount. We were paying for Netflix, and we pay for YouTube with no ads, and then on top of that, there's my monthly internet cost. Even with that was half the price of having satellite TV.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah.
So it's the big old traditional companies. They can't compete anymore.
No.
So,
no. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
And
yeah.
To the epitome of how bad AT&T were, when I phoned to close the account, they transferred me to the department that closes accounts for TV.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "I can't close your cell phone account. This is TV and broadband." I'm like, well, that's not my problem. They transferred me to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
So,
yeah. I think in Holland, we had a little bit of that going on at the early stage, but now everything is sort of settled and they're all doing the same. And they're trying to, make a difference and be a little bit cheaper here or there, but that's only temporary. So it's not I mean, we've got KPN, T-Mobile, and Vodafone as the big players, and then we've got some smaller players that use their networks.
Yeah, we have the same over here. The second tier.
Yeah, and that's that could be that could be cheaper, but then you're limited to whatever speed or whatever. But for some people, that's fine too. So it's not a huge deal. And I have been with Vodafone for a really long time, and on my account there, I mean, my parents, Michelle, I think I've got and I've got 5 Vodafone accounts, and that means that I have a lot of. And I've got Ziggo television stuff and internet stuff, and they're now one. So Ziggo and Vodafone are now one company. So that means that I get discounts on that. So there is no way for me that it's going to be good for me to change to any other provider. No, because as soon as
you leave, you lose all of your discounts.
So they've got me locked in there, but it's not a problem because it's also a good price. So I don't mind being locked in that. Actually, I tried to break open a contract because I wanted to change some things, I think 2 years ago. And I was on the phone with them, and they were looking at my contract and say, "Wow, you're lucky because you pay not a lot of money for all that.
You're paying next to nothing."
Yeah, you're paying next to nothing. So to be honest, there's no contract that we could offer you that's going to be anywhere near what you're having now. So I'm gonna.
And by the way, if I even edit your existing contract, the price is just going to go up if I open it.
Exactly. Yeah. Something like that. Something like probably, that. Yeah. So and that was already what I thought, but I thought I'd call them. They were honest about it. Yeah. And they have to, obviously, but still. So so that's all good, and I'll just keep it at that. I've stopped. We had this. Situation years ago when they're trying to get into the market where your phone was subsidized, so you could get a free phone as long as you had a 2-year or whatever contract with a certain provider. But that's all gone now. You can still get a phone with your contract, but you're just paying it off. You're just, getting a loan on the phone really, and pay the phone on the phone and pay the phone during your contract, which a lot of people do, and they still think they're getting a phone. So after 2 years, you say, "Oh, I can choose a new phone." But you could better just change the contract, ditch the phone, and have a cheaper contract, and that would be cheaper. But most people don't understand that, obviously. So I have stopped getting phones through that contract years ago. So I only have SIM-only contracts for everything.
Yeah, because then you have an unlocked phone and you can take any SIM.
Exactly, and then I can use the phone as long as I want. I can do that. I can with the company I can buy the phone and put it on the company. That's also good. So that's all good. So it's a totally different situation here, but I'm happy that you've made the decision to switch and have all that done. Anyway, we've already gone on for about 20 minutes, and I think there are a couple of things we need to discuss, and maybe we should do another show of an hour next week or so, because the subjects are piling up now, because there are also some other things that I want to talk about. But one thing that we probably should talk about is Bonneville Flats.
Oh, yes.
And I have managed in some weird way to get a picture of your beautiful Jag
My
up
Jaguar
here.
I-Pace.
And I was just wondering, I mean, I saw the little film that you made. And it looked like a lot of fun. But apparently this is just like a salt lake where you can just have unlimited speed.
It's public lands. There is an official racetrack out there. They do the speed week out there every year in August. So that's why they do the land speed, trials for people that want to go fast.
Yeah.
But for the most of the rest of the time, there's no speed limit there.
Okay.
So you're on public lands. You're not on controlled lands. There's no roads or anything. It's a little bit under 2 hours drive from my house.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we went there to do for three reasons. We went there to get some photos of the car, because the Salt Flats are one of the best places to get photos for stuff like this.
Sun,
We went there to have some fun with the speed of the car, and we went there to try out a set of the new DC fast chargers that have opened up in Wendover. So we drove out there, and we got onto the Salt Flats. And then Paula's never been fast in a car, and she's never really had the full acceleration of this car, because on public roads you can't really do it. So the video that's playing in the background, that car that just disappeared off the left side of the screen, they started about 5 seconds ahead of me. And it's electronically limited to 200 kilometers an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets there in about 9 seconds.
That's cool.
It is mind-blowingly fast. That's the thing. Any well-built electric car can do this now, but when you get a chance to actually do it somewhere like this, where it's completely flat, and there's no real rules, there's nobody else really around. And what was going on that day was there were 5 or 6 other people that were out on the salt, and they'd sort of established an unofficial direction. You could see more or less the direction that people were going. So people were coming off the public road onto the salt, and they were sort of lining up more or less in a line and then taking their turn. So it was unregulated, but people were being mostly sensible about it. And it was a lot of fun. It's unusual to have a place like that so close to where you live that you can do stuff like this in reasonable safety. And 200 kilometers an hour on salt, especially on the Salt Flats, where it's so long and so flat that the horizon is just like going this way. There's the mountains, but when you're going the other way, it's just a mirage. There's just this mirror effect. So you can't really see what's coming.
No.
Which is why you kind of have to trust that everybody else that's going the same direction is going that way, because there's no rocks or obstructions or anything like that.
No.
And then when we slowed down, I didn't use the brakes at all. I just took my foot off the accelerator and let the regenerative braking slow us down.
Yeah, because it's like a salt thing, so it's sort of slippery, isn't it? Like a sandy...
No, it's actually, once it's dry like this, it's actually pretty grippy.
Okay, that's because I was thinking.
There's a thin layer,
like sand.
There's a thin layer of salt dust on top, so if you were to really step on the brakes, you would just skid forever. But it's not enough to make it dangerous to drive on.
Okay.
But you can't go out there when it's wet, because the salt is this really, really sticky salt. It's almost like pudding. And if there's any amount of water at all, that all sticks to the bottom of your car. So then it holds the water and the salt against the bottom of your car.
Yeah.
And
just eats the whole.
There's a petrol station just near the entrance to the salt flats, and they have a jet wash.
Yeah.
And there's a big sign over the jet wash that says not to be used for getting salt off your car.
Okay.
Because otherwise they end up with all the salt in their drains, and it eats the drains.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
But still, I think it's strange that there's no dedicated direction to drive.
If you go about 4 or 5 kilometers further out, there is the official drag strip track that's marked out.
Okay.
But unless you have the exact GPS coordinates of where that is, most normal people can't find it. So you just sort of, what normally happens is the first 2 or 3 people out there in the day will drive up and down pretty slowly to make sure there's nothing soft. There's no rocks in the way, and then what seems to happen is they'll park a truck right at the very end where sort of the unofficial area is.
Yeah.
So you at least have something to aim for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the more people drive up and down there, the more confidence you get that this is a safe patch of salt to be on.
And are there any unwritten rules, or maybe even written rules, what happens as with flying and ships if you get a head-up collision or see a head-up collision coming on, you both turn to the right? Yeah. Because that's very important, obviously.
You always pass driver to driver.
Yeah.
Which means if you're really not sure, you steer to the right to try and make the gap bigger.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking that because that's obviously a very smart thing to just to be sure of. Yeah.
And there's bound to be stupid people out there at times, but yesterday or this weekend it seemed like everyone was being pretty sensible.
Cool. Yeah. Well, it would be great if I was living close or sort of close to that. I would definitely go there and try that.
If you come and visit, we'll take you out.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
It's a blast.
It's cool.
It's fantastic.
And I was thinking, we can. There is actually no real way. I can think of that we can do that here in Europe.
Not really.
Not even. You've got Nürburgring, but that's a circuit. It's not like a straight, so that's different. The closest to it is the Deutsche Autobahn. Certain stretches of it where you can still have unlimited speed. But there's traffic, obviously. which is a sort of an issue, which makes it a thrilling experience. But there were circumstances. When it was a little bit either in the middle of the night or it was just early in the morning or whatever, where in the south of Germany between Stuttgart and Munich, you've got long pieces of wide and straight road, and the good thing is that it's sort of going like up and down slowly, so that means that you can really look forward a long way and be more safe about traffic and everything and just pedal it. Also, you're going down, so you have a faster acceleration, obviously. But that makes it a little bit safer because you get to the desired speed quicker, and you've got a field of view where you can you can see everything, which makes it doable. And then going 250 kmh or something is just wild. You'll get used to that pretty fast. So it's cool to just have that speed,
And obviously the speed isn't the thing in the electric car. It's not the speed which is the thing. I've been faster than 125 miles an hour on a motorbike. Out there.
It's the acceleration.
125 miles an hour, 200 kilometers an hour is fast in a car, especially a heavy car. But the acceleration is just it's when you put it in sport mode and make it as low as it would go, it's neck snapping. You have to have your head back against the
and is it
the head.
Is the acceleration actually limited because you're on the salt flats? Could it be faster because you have sort of a slippery, isn't ABS or traction control sort of controlling your acceleration?
Launch control.
I have all-wheel drive and
okay, that makes
torque vectoring because of the electric motors. So
yeah,
there is a tiny little bit of slip, but it's not that much.
No, okay, it's still Okay. Cool.
It's grippy enough.
Yeah. Cool. Well.
And what was funny was when we started, there's all the people that are standing on the road, because at the end there's this big circular parking area where everyone parks.
Yeah.
And people sort of walk out and take photos, and they're not sure whether they should take their car out or not. And they've been listening to all these petrol engine cars leaving like all the time. Yeah. So we pulled out there, and they can see my car getting lower because I put it on the low suspension setting.
Yeah.
And then it just takes off, and all they can hear is the sound of the tires on the salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the look on their faces was absolutely priceless. They're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Because people know what Teslas look like, but they don't know about many of the other EVs.
No. It's okay. Yeah, cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes, I can imagine. That was a lot of fun, and we didn't have the sound with that video, but when you hear Paula, it's great. It's really cool.
It was maybe better than it was.
Yeah, maybe it's better that we had no
probably.
sound. We would have a YouTube strike for obscene
from
sounds. Now
well, there are of course a lot of American car shows where they build whatever, like a Gas Monkey and these guys. They all end up
Bonneville.
somewhere at Bonneville at one time. And I really love these shows about it.
It's a fun place to go. And when we went, it was just not that crowded, so it was great.
Yeah.
But also when there is the official
Speed Week
thing
is
going on
August the 2nd, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when it gets really crowded.
Drive your pickup there.
Camp out on the salt.
In a way, it doesn't matter how fast your car can go. It's just the fact that you will try and floor it and have it go as fast as it can go. That's just the thrill of it. And obviously, when you have a faster car, it's even more thrilling. But still, if you build a car or a hot rod or whatever, and you just want to try and see how fast it can go, it's cool.
It's so flat and so level and so smooth, and it's so big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for
error.
It tolerates. Bonneville Salt Flats tolerates error.
Yeah. In a way,
obviously you don't want to jam on the brakes and turn the steering wheel because you're still going to flip it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it tolerates. If people really don't know what they're doing. Like if you were going to do it on a runway at an airfield, you might get to the top speed and then suddenly realize, oh crap, I'm running out of runway.
Exactly. Or you lose control.
The Bonneville, you've got 6, 8, 10, 12 miles before you even get to the racetrack. So you can sit at full speed for a couple of minutes and then just take your foot off the accelerator and you're still perfectly safe. Perfectly safe.
Safer. Yeah. Okay, well, it sounds great. I was thinking that the only thing that could make the experience of speed be more intense or the lack of things on the track, maybe
fools you into thinking you're not going as fast as you are.
That's what I was going to say, because if you have something on the side, and you just see all these little poles or whatever go by, it's probably going to give you more sense of speed than just an open flat miles and miles of nothing. So that would make it better. So, in a way, having some sort of line or a fence or flag poles or whatever. Then again, it makes it dangerous, obviously, because people will run into those flag poles.
Now there's something to run into.
Yeah, and they will.
Oh, look, a fence.
Yeah, I can totally understand it. Anyway, great story. And I love the video. And the pictures of your car are just astonishing. It's really beautiful. The color comes out so well with the blue and the white. Yeah. It's almost like the Dutch flag. But then you should put the car on top and the blue on the bottom. I don't know. We'll turn it around. We'll see. We'll find a way. Anyway, we've made it another half an hour, which is for now what we've got time for. There are some things that we might want to discuss next week. Obviously, Silverstone's coming up. which is going to be a really great race, or maybe not, but it's going to be very exciting, I think, with all the things that happened last year.
And you did a thing.
I did a thing, yes, and that's also what we need to discuss.
So we need to talk about that next week.
And we're going to talk about that also. I'll have some pictures or have it here, and we're going to do that for sure. So
I've probably also some unboxing to do next week.
We're going to do an hour next week. That's maybe better. But then I don't know if we can do that because Chris can't do an hour from.
I can do an hour. I just have to have my lunch early instead of late.
Okay, maybe we should try and do an 8:30 show, but then do an hour.
Yeah.
And then because we probably need some more time next week to get through all this. So great stuff. Well, everybody, thanks for watching again. And we'll see each other next week, probably with an hour show. And we'll then talk about Silverstone and all the other things. It's probably going to be Formula One almost completely, an hour long, and maybe an unboxing from Oscar. I don't know what he's going to unbox. That's going to be a big big surprise. But
it's a new coffee machine.
Yeah, new coffee machine.
New coffee machine. No, it's still
okay.
up and
Cool.
running.
That was a good thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do your thing, and
bye,
thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.